Netflix plans to adopt new Chronicles of Narnia movies and series, but the streaming giant wants to make Narnia the new Game of Thrones. Is this a good idea? There are also some rumors suggesting Greta Gerwig will direct these projects. With no further ado, here is everything we know about Netflix's The Chronicles of Narnia. It's 2023, and we're still waiting for one of the most talked about Netflix projects in the entire history of cinema. In fact, 2023 will mark the 5th anniversary of when Netflix announced it had acquired the rights to adapt new Chronicles of Narnia movies and series. The company has been silent since then, but at the beginning of this year, rumors about the project's moving closer to its release date started circling on the internet. Some fans are skeptical about this because, let's face it, Netflix has already ruined some amazing books, and Narnia is a project that requires everything to be perfect, from staying loyal to the source material to a carefully chosen cast ensemble, and of course, a good CGI. Netflix needs to pay attention to details and give fans a proper adaptation that will do justice to its predecessors. Before we dive into some surprising plot details, let's go back to the previous Narnia adaptations and see what Netflix needs to keep in mind while working on the upcoming movies and series. For those not familiar, The Chronicles of Narnia is a book series by the renowned author C.S. Lewis, published in the 1950s. The book series stayed one of the most beloved franchises in history, with Disney being the first company to make a screen adaptation based on these novels. In total, 7 books were published, which is a really important thing to remember before we move forward. But Disney is not the only company that made screen adaptations to some of the Narnia books. The book series was given plenty of adaptations over the years, including a BBC series and a radio series. The Walt Disney adaptation is, however, the most successful one. Disney released the first film in 2005, titled The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The movie took the world by storm, which wasn't a surprise, considering how good it is. The second film was also made by Disney, with the third movie being made by 20th Century Fox. A fourth movie was planned, but it never happened, because the third film is when everything went wrong. Let's get into some surprising details about Netflix's Narnia, shall we?
And put an end to this 100-year winter.
I think you've made a mistake. We're not heroes.
There's no mistake.
The first announcement about Netflix acquiring the rights to the novels arrived in October of 2018. Back then, the streaming giant confirmed they made a multi-year deal, meaning they have total freedom with the adaptation of the books. This also proves that the company will make more than one film and more than one TV show. This is also why we're waiting for so long to see any of those adaptations. Alongside the original announcement, Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, said that C.S. Lewis's beloved Chronicles of Narnia stories have resonated with generations of readers around the world, adding that families have fallen in love with the characters like Aslan and the entire world of Narnia, and they are now thrilled to be their home for years to come. The company made sure to repeat that this is not a single film or a single TV show. They want to build a Narnia universe, something like Lord of the Rings and Marvel. Per a report by the company, you need to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Okay, seriously, in their own words, Netflix will develop classic stories from across the Narnia universe into series and films for its members worldwide. All series and films produced through the deal will be owned by Netflix, with Mark Gordon of Entertainment One, E1, alongside Douglas Gresham and Vincent Sieber working as executive producers for series and as producers for films. Remember when we said that there are now 7 books in total? Well, this is noteworthy because with the deal Netflix made, they now have access to all 7 books. This means they can do whatever they want with them, which will be either a good or a bad thing. Honestly, I think this is a good thing because we'll see adaptations to books that were not adapted before. The previous owners of these books were not able to do such adaptations, and Netflix is aware that this is a big thing, and they're obviously afraid of screwing things up. Thanks to a report by IMDb Pro, Mark Gordon, Douglas Gresham, and Vincent Sieber will be working on the upcoming films and TV shows. So, do we have a release date yet?
I don't remember any ruins in Narnia.
I wonder who lived here.
I think we did.
Well, no. Since the projects are still in the early stages of development, we don't expect to hear an official release date just yet. Given that the filming industry struggled a lot during the pandemic, we don't expect to see any of these films until the very beginning of 2024, at the earliest. Maybe the company will surprise us with a 2023 Christmas release date. Who knows? When we know more, we'll give you an update. The most important thing fans should keep in mind is that Netflix's Narnia will be a reboot. One thing we shouldn't expect is to see a direct continuation of the franchise. Netflix won't continue where Disney stopped. As mentioned before, there were some plans to adapt The Silver Chair, but such a screen adaptation never happened because the films were becoming less profitable and the franchise ended with The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. There is one big question though. How will Netflix adopt the books? Are they following the chronology of the novels? Are they going by publication date? If the company decides to follow the Disney pattern, it'll start with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first book published and the most popular of the whole series. If they decide to go by the chronology, they'll start with The Magician's Nephew, the second to last book published, but the one set earliest. What do you guys think is the better option? I think they should go with The Magician's Nephew. One thing most fans don't want to see happen is for Narnia to be turned into Game of Thrones. This won't work. Trust me, I think this would be the biggest mistake the creators of the upcoming projects could ever make. Narnia is not GOT, it's not Lord of the Rings, and it's definitely not Marvel. As mentioned before, the creators need to be very careful when adapting the novels. I honestly think they should just stick to the source material, because a lot of modifications could ruin the franchise. In 2019, Netflix announced that Matthew Aldrich, co-writer of the Disney Pixar classic Coco, will serve as the creative architect of their projects. Then, a couple of years later, we learned that Aldrich had attended a showrunner training program hosted by the WGA. But other than that, there's nothing. Again, I think the creators are trying to be as careful as possible while developing these projects. Because, let's face it, this project could either save or ruin Netflix altogether. I want to ask, what do you guys think will happen with the adaptation? Do you think they'll ruin it? Let us know. If Greta Gerwig directs, we'll have no problems. Before we dive into more details about this, you should know that these are only rumors, as nothing has been confirmed yet. These rumors suggest that Greta Gerwig, known for films such as Lady Bird, Little Woman, and the upcoming Barbie, will serve as the director of the Narnia films. Damn, we wish this is true. But could Netflix stay loyal to the books? Well, that's what most fans want. There's another group of fans that claims Netflix should not follow the source material, and thus, they should create a better and fixed story. I don't know about you, but I would love it if the company stays true to the books. We also know that you need to smash that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. For those thinking Netflix's Narnia is not happening, you have no reason to worry because the company spent millions of dollars on the C.W. Lewis deal, and they're certainly working on the upcoming films and TV shows. See you in the next video.